All right, welcome back to Don and the J Mo Show. But you already know, about to dive into another Kevin Samuels video. Yes, Kevin Samuels. But nah, this is Big Bro right here. I really love his videos. They super dope. I don't want to keep this introduction too long. You're gonna see what it's talking about. Its title is Things Women Don't Understand. Huge problems! Exclamation point. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Um, you know the vibes, but don't tell no lies. And if you dispute, put in the comments down below. Let's go.
And I'm just starting
First name.
Shobi.
What do you got for me?
So I'm 19 and I'm just starting my journey.
19?
19.
Okay.
And I know that the career path that I'm going in, I probably won't have as much time as I would like to really spend time on finding guys. So I think my undergrad would be the best time. And I just wanted to know
Pause real quick.
Suggestions.
Just real quick tidbit. I don't feel like no woman should have to find a guy. If you that woman, if you that feminine, if you have that many good quality traits about you, men are gonna find you left and right. So it's interesting that women feel like they need to find men. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
what is that?
You as a woman, you can literally be walking through the grocery store. You could be at the dentist. You could be doing any normal task. You can be at work. And if you're attractive and carrying yourself like a lady and you just a pleasurable, pleasant person, men are going to gravitate to you naturally. So no woman should ever have to find a man.
That's a fact.
Where
What's your career path? What's your undergrad going to be in?
I'm right now I study microbiology and sociology, and I plan on being a surgeon.
What kind of surgeon?
I want to be a trauma surgeon.
Well, and you think that precludes you from dating?
Not necessarily, but I feel like I would be more study driven. So my best bet would be in my undergrad to find someone that I would want to marry.
Well, yeah, that would be smart. That's why it would be wise to find somebody in your undergrad. Are you on campus or what?
Right now I am off campus.
But before Corona, were you living on campus?
Yeah, living on campus.
Do you have a boyfriend?
I was speaking to someone.
What does that mean? You ladies use these so basically, see, talking to somebody can mean somebody you're platonic friends with, or that can mean somebody you're dating, having sex with, doing everything. You just don't have the title. So that's very vague to us.
I was intimate with this person and we were close. We were even thinking about having a relationship, but we were in different chapters of our life. Like he just graduated, all of that.
Females come up with these titles because they're ashamed to be like, we was just fucking. Like how often do we have a female like we just had a sexual encounter? I like them, but it was a primarily sexual thing. Women don't say that because they're so afraid of how they might look. So this is where all the weird titles come from.
That makes a lot of sense.
But how long were you guys doing all
that? A year.
That's a boyfriend.
Hold on.
Like he just graduated tech, all of that.
But how long were you guys doing all that?
A year.
That's a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Pause it again real quick.
Okay.
Ladies, this is another reason why men don't want to be your boyfriend. Why do I need to be your boyfriend when I can get maximum benefits without a title? There's women out here that's giving sex, time, affection, a journey, a mission, or spirit for a whole year with a guy. And that guy is like, cool, I have no obligations and no responsibilities. What do I need to get a girlfriend for? I can get sex, I can get a good time, I can get a smart girl, I can go on a journey with a woman, I can get companionship. What do I need to give you a title for? So a lot of times women get mad at us because we don't want to commit and settle down and give titles. But why do we need to do so? Why does a young man need to lock in on a relationship when he can get everything he wants without a title? Why? What benefit would that man get by saying, you know what, I want to make you my girlfriend now? The crazy part about it is as soon as he do that, the relationship is probably going to go downhill. I'm just giving the nuggets to the ladies that's watching.
Give him a 3-piece nugget.
If you're gonna be, you got to start calling things what they are. You're in different chapters of your life. So you're with somebody for a year, and you decide to call it quits. Who ended the relationship?
Him. He thought that he basically said that even though he really liked me, he didn't want to stop me from being in college because he was even with the career path in tech, he was going to be moving to a different state.
That's bull. I
was about to say, that's bullshit. He just wanted to be on his way because he was done having his fun, or whatever mission that he wanted to make, it was accomplished. Or she was pressing him to be a boyfriend, and he was just like, I'm kind of cool on all this boyfriend shit.
Relationship. So
Heard him?
Yeah, he just didn't want to be tied down. He wasn't ready for a relationship.
So come on, we talking the same language here. I ain't never seen this, by the way.
Here's the thing. Do you want to be married?
Most definitely I want to be married.
Okay. Do you want to have any children?
Yeah, 3 kids, hopefully.
Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant?
Give me 1 second.
I don't mind working. I'm not in the career for the money.
Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant? I didn't say do you mind.
Kids, hopefully.
Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Do you want to be married?
Most definitely I want to be married.
Okay. Do you want to have any children?
Yeah, 3 kids, hopefully.
Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant?
I don't mind working. I'm not in the career for the money.
Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant? I didn't say do you mind.
Yes.
So after you are 8 months pregnant, you want to work up to the 9th month, drop junior, take 12 weeks FMLA off, and then go right back to work. And then mess around and get pregnant again and carry that baby to another 8 months into a couple of weeks, and then do it all over again. That's what you're telling me you want to do?
No.
All right then. So this is where I don't understand with you ladies. You don't want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant. So why do you guys, not for you, ma'am, but this is a question for you. Why do you ladies insist on going to get in all of this major school debt for these careers that you are going to throw away like this as soon as you become a pregnant mother, a pregnant wife? It makes no sense to us. But you want to be a trauma surgeon. So after you were married and get pregnant, what will happen to the trauma surgeon?
See, this is what I was explaining before. I want to do trauma surgeon, but my main thing is that within medicine, I want to stop the disparities within minorities. So I don't mind doing part-time. I don't mind cutting that down.
You wanted to stop the disparities in minority. What does that mean?
Disparities in medicine to minority groups.
You can't do, I mean, that I don't know what that means, but it sounds like a hell of a lot more than one person's capable of doing. What does that mean practically?
Practically, that means I wouldn't mind starting a clinic in low income towns or neighborhoods that would allow minorities to have more access to healthcare.
How you gonna do that?
So real quick,
all the bills.
why didn't she just say that in the first place?
Because she's going to school to be a trauma surgeon, and then she's going to do that.
No, like when she said, I want to stop the disparities in the Black community, like even I was like, what does that mean? But so why didn't you just say, hey, I want to open up a clinic to, the underserved community? Like, like why did she communicate it like that? Like what does that mean?
Well, in healthcare, because I was in the healthcare field, I will say this. Babies that, especially melanated kids and melanated people that are treated by other melanated people, have a likelihood to get better treatment and heal from whatever ailment that is quicker than being treated by any other race, especially European.
Yeah, I get that. So it's just like, instead of saying I want to, whatever she said, I want to stop the disparities in underserved communities. Like one option, you can say, hey, I want to stop the disparities in the underserved community, or I want to open up a clinic in underserved communities. You know what I'm saying? Because like, to stop the disparities can mean so many different things.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. I just, I'm big on communication, so I'll just be peeping little things like that. But we can run it.
Okay.
You're gonna have to go where his job is, right?
Oh, you cut out. What did you say, sir?
How are you gonna be able to do that if your husband's paying all the bills? You're gonna have to go where he is.
I mean, if I'm a doctor, I can work anywhere, right?
No, you're gonna have to go where he is. You said you wanna. Okay, so sounds like you wanna. You're not in it for the money.
No, not in it for the money.
Then this is a bad idea. Let me be perfectly blunt with you. How much will it cost for you to go get undergrad at medical school?
In total, that's about 200K.
200 what?
200,000.
Say the number. $200,000. You want to go in debt for a house, and you're gonna sit here and with a straight face and tell me, I don't care about the money. This is insane.
But I wouldn't be in debt because if I have a clinic, I still make money from that clinic, even if it's part-time. That would be a private practice.
You're going to be in debt until the medical, excuse me. You're going to be in debt until that school loan is paid off. And if you're talking about owning a clinic that's not there for the money, you're not going to be making any money. So you're going to be in debt and not making any money. So your husband's going to have to fund the entire family and that clinic and your debt. You just haven't thought this through.
Okay, let me put it like this, sir. When you were asking about the children, I want kids, and after a certain period of time, I would like to go back into medicine. I didn't.
What certain period of time? 3 kids. Don't overtalk me, young lady. 3 kids. Yeah. What period of time would you like? How old would you need the youngest child to be before you went back to work?
Youngest child, 3, 4.
3 or 4. Okay, so you have 1 child. All right, that kid has to get to be 3 or 4. But by the time you have child 1, you're pregnant, right? 9 months after you're pregnant, you don't want to work anymore, so you're off during the first year. Then you get pregnant the subsequent year, or 8 or anywhere from 3 to 12 months after that. Okay, your kids are stair-stepped: 1, 3, and 5, right? Roughly. Yeah. Right. But the 5-year-old would have to be 4 years old before you would be willing to go back to work. Ma'am, that's 10 years out of work. 10 years. What happens, young lady, is you ladies never sit down and truly sharpen the pencil and put pen to paper and understand what you're doing. It's just, I'll go take this loan out and I'll go do this. And it all sounds good because at the end of the day, your ultimate goal, which is to say, I'll just put this debt on a man. And my thing is, if you're going to start having children and be off work for 10 years, that $200,000 worth of student loan debt is having to be paid during that time frame, right?
With interest.
Yes, sir.
You're not running a clinic during that time. You're a mother. So is it fair to say that you haven't
Pause real quick.
thought about this?
You see how confident a woman would run in the wrong direction? You see how she paused? Like, no, look, hold on. This is what I really want to do. And she tried to break it down. Like, you were all the way wrong, but you wanted to pause this man's whole conversation to completely drive yourself into a brick wall. Like, women would put their pedal to the metal and drive into a brick wall and be all the way wrong, confidently wrong. And then it's like, she said she wanted her clinic. She said, I'm not going to be in debt because I have a clinic. But nobody talked about the cost and the debt that it's going to cost to open up a clinic. That's probably going to be a whole nother $200,000. So now you're looking at $400,000 and we're not even talking about interest. So you mean to tell me you're going to graduate from college, get your credentials, have a baby, have several babies, then open up a clinic, and then build that clinic and have it gross $200,000 plus the very first year while you're still being a wife or girlfriend and having 2 and 3 kids all at the same time?
Look, he's going to get into it. Yeah, see, the way you explain this, I would have thought you already seen the video. It's interesting. This is interesting. I've seen this video, but it's interesting. I like how he's laying it out, though. I mean, some people would say it's a little, so it's a reality check. We have to live in a world of realism.
This is fatherly masculine energy, and it makes people so uncomfortable, and that's why they demonize this man. But this is what we need in this world right now. We need more fathers, and we need more father energy. We need more stern energy. We need more consistent, logical energy, and we need more problem-solving energy. This is what we need, and
we need more practicality.
It's amazing that people shoot shots at this man when he's doing nothing but giving practicality, literally. And literally saving this girl's life. This is a conversation that she should have with her father, but maybe if her father's not around, or she don't have the relationship with her father, or her father is not delivering this message. But this is Pop's energy that everybody needs.
Yeah, both her parents and lives with them and all that. But what I'll say is, ladies, y'all have to choose really between wanting to be a wife. That doesn't mean you can't work, but wanting to be a wife versus a career woman. Because if you're going to be a career woman, then you're really truly passionate about your career, and that's going to be your main priority, being in the workforce, because children are going to need time, energy, attention. Your spirit has to have the right amount of energy, not be drained from work, to be able to give them the proper motherly love and nurture that they need, especially between the ages of 1 and 5, when they need a lot of nurturing and TLC. And then you're going to go out into the workforce for however long. It's just, it's too much. And I know the dream of I can be independent and do it all on my own has been sold, that this is possible. It is possible, but is it practical? No. To have the best upbringing for your children possible, and have the best situation for yourself, and have a healthy balance to where you don't feel drained. But I just wanted to kind of point that out. It's not that y'all can't pursue things that y'all enjoy, but you also have to be mindful sometimes of the dreams that y'all aspire to do. Dream big, but also make sure that there's a plan set in place to get to those dreams, not just, all right, I'm gonna go for it.
From really playing this out from the standpoint of a relationship?
I hope to have, okay. So this is how I planned it out. I
Okay.
wanted to, by the time that I am at least in med school, that I get married while I'm in med school. And during that time, maybe during residency or so I could have a kid. So at least I have one. If ever anything, I have one before I actually start practice for a little while, save up while I'm doing that. Even now I am saving.
Stop. You be in residency while you're married. Save up. How much did you make in doing residency?
A residency, you usually make about 60,000.
Right. And you will have $200,000 in debt to pay, plus your car, your mortgage, everything else. Ma'am, you're not saving anything on $60,000 with $200,000 in debt plus living. And all I'm saying is, I need you, like, to see, as a man, we are responsible for the math. You ladies are responsible for a dream. And this sounds like a dream. And the problem I have with you is when you said you want to go into massive amounts of student loan and medical school debt and you don't care about the money. That means somebody else has to pay it because you can't. That's fair, right?
Yes, sir.
Then that's bullshit. No one should have to
Hold on.
pay your medical school bills.
I don't want.
You see how he's finessing her? Like, he's literally making her say things, because even when it came to her paying for or the amount of money that she wants to make from her business. So in the earlier, he was just like, well, it sounds like you really don't want to make money off this, or you don't care for money, right? Right. That's stupid. And he just did it again. He was like, well, it sounds like this and this and this, right? Well, that's not gonna work. Yeah, you see how easily influenced women's minds are. Like, rewind it. Like, he's literally like implanting messages in her brain, and she's just not. I'm not gonna say she's just trying to be agreeable, but it kind of sounds that way. She's kind of like, yeah, we agreeing, and he'll flip it on her ass. Like, rewind it a couple seconds and see how he finessed her.
I'm gonna say this real quick. She is also 19. This is what we talk about when men say this is why they prefer to be with younger women between the ages of like 19 and 22. Because by the time women hit, 30 plus, they're locked into how they want to think. So why would an older dude not go out when he has the finances to take care of himself and another woman and deal with a younger woman who is more impressionable and willing and ready to get on his program? You can just see the difference versus this interview that we're reacting to versus the other ones with older females where they're locked in and they have their agenda. Even though she still wants to get her point across, she's still being receptive because of her age to what his point of view is that he's trying to point out.
Good point.
Because normally, I know you said women could, the emotional thing, but yeah, they'll still stand firm in their stance, even if it's delusional. But she's young enough to still have some of that flexibility in how she's thinking.
Right.
Because you can't. Amounts of student loan and medical school debt, and you don't care about the money. That means somebody else has to pay it because you can't. That's fair, right?
Yes, sir.
Then that's bullshit.
Pause it.
How much should I have to pay?
That's fair, right? Yes, sir. That's bullshit. Hey, he got a certain way that he be finessing people on the show, and he be setting them up, and they don't even know that they're being set up until you flip the switch on them.
Yeah, I see.
Fair, right? Like, that's a hell of a tactic.
Your medical school bills?
I don't want anybody to pay my medical school bills. Even now,
who's going? Okay, ma'am, listen. I understand what your heart is saying, but the practicality of it, you're $200,000 in debt. Okay. Right. Then you're out let's say you're not married. You're just out.
Okay.
And you start running your clinic.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be targeting people who can pay for premium medical care. You're going to be accepting Medicaid, Medicare, free patients, the underprivileged, right?
Yes, sir.
So that means you're going to be. So the practice won't make a profit, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm just saying, is it fair to say the practice won't make a profit?
Yes.
All right. So but while the practice you're working and putting hours into, you're not making money because the practice is not making a profit.
The practice, I would be a owner of the practice.
I don't care what you call it, it's still not profitable. Would you go to work for free?
But that's what I'm saying, sir. It would, okay. I feel like I just need to relay all of this out because
Ma'am, I was going to go to before you get frustrated. Understand, I was going to go to medical school. I understand how this works, and the math isn't working.
Oh no, sir, I'm not frustrated. I feel like I haven't properly said what I meant. Okay. So basically, I care about being a surgeon. I want to be a surgeon. I want to make money. I know there's money there. Even now at 19, I am saving up to the point that I'm trying to cover some of the cost of med school. I'm not really too worried about undergrad loans with the scholarships that I have, but med school, I'm saving. I want to save up to be able to.
Let me stop you right here. Admirable. But how much money are you making an hour?
15.
Sweetheart, that's $30,000 a year. You ain't saving nothing.
I live with my parents. I don't have
exactly.
So I can save.
So again, you're not. See, that's why I said you're not saving anything, because if you have to be an adult, you have to have rent, utilities, a car. There won't be anything to save. Mommy and daddy are paying the bills right now. And what I'm saying to you, ma'am, is you're still living in a land where
that's why I'm calling you for guidance. I understand that.
Well, but okay, and so I'm telling you, this is first of all, if you're not going to go to medical school to make a profit, it is foolish to go into that kind of debt because you're expecting somebody else to pay those bills. That is unreasonable. To go into $200,000 worth of debt, you expect someone else to pay those bills. Because what you're saying to me is you don't have a career plan in place to where you plan on making enough money to pay off your debts and make a profit.
I have a career plan in place for myself, but not that I haven't figured out
what is that
would work with a guy. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, and what was your career plan in place by yourself? What would it be?
By myself right now, I make money, I'm saving it. I have parents that are willing to help me, so I can probably get a car by the end of this year that would be a good car.
What I mean your career path is when schooling is over.
Oh, when schooling's over. So
that's when, that's what a career is. School is not a career. Career starts when schooling is over. What's your career?
But I mean in terms of debt, so I wouldn't be as in much debt while I'm.
But okay, ma'am. It's the forest for the trees. Maybe you won't have $15,000. Maybe it'll be $20,000 less. Trust me, you're still going to have. You have scholarships, full or partial.
Partial.
Right. So you're taking out student loans.
Yes.
Right. And then you will have to take out loans for medical school.
Right. So you're taking out student loans. Right. Yes. Right. So, right. It's like the Lord, I hear it. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. Most likely.
That's a substantial amount of debt. and you will be making $15 an hour while you're in school part-time. That's chump change. You're going to have close to $200,000 in debt. What is your plan after you graduate medical school, pass the board and everything else? What is your career path?
After graduate school, incoming doctors make around 300K. I expect
Not first year, they don't. First years don't make no $300,000.
a surgeon, an incoming surgeon, a trauma surgeon, a trauma surgeon.
Okay, let's just give you this. 300,000. And how much of that are you going to keep after taxes?
Probably half. Because where I live, yeah, half.
Right. And have you ever had to pay rent?
No.
Exactly. Welcome to the rest of the world. You will be paying 30% of your income in overhead. If you're making 300,000 as a first-year trauma surgeon, which that's a massive stretch, but let's just give it to you. You're taking home 150. What state are you in?
I live in Maryland.
Right. So 150.
I live in Maryland. Right. Like, it's not.
That's a sales tactic, actually.
Right, you do. Okay, so whoa, I see it. I see it.
You're not going to live in the ghetto, and you're going to drive a decent car. That automatically going to knock around what part of Maryland? DC, Baltimore, what?
I live in Baltimore.
Baltimore?
Yes, sir.
Right. So,
right.
A mid-sized car, a decent apartment, clothing, utilities, you got to eat. You're a young woman. Come on, I've seen this before, ma'am. And then you still have. And what do you think your student loan bill would be monthly?
Counting interest, probably that's a good 1,000. Maybe I'd be willing to pay.
1,000.
With interest, if I count my undergrad.
Okay. So again,
1,000.
That's you working as a trauma surgeon. If I gave you 300,000, where does this clinic come into play?
Clinic come into play. It's farther down the line.
Where?
Like 5 years into a career.
Okay. And how would you be doing that as a trauma surgeon?
Pause it real quick.
How are you going to have time to run a clinic?
It would take her paying $1,000 a month. It would take her 16 years to pay that off.
More than that, because interest.
At $1,000 at that loan.
That's not including any
if she gets a subsidized loan, then she won't have to worry about interest.
Medical. I don't think medical do subsidized loans.
My girlfriend
not for graduate school, I don't think.
Probably
but at what point do you have children? That's a big one. And then for the most part, people accidentally have kids. They just be in a relationship having sex and pop out babies. So not only does she want 3 kids, but I mean, at somewhere through this journey, you're gonna have a kid because you open to it. She's also not considering unexpected things that like car accidents, moving, like somebody in her family needs some help. You know what I'm saying? Like we always got to consider like the unexpected expenses because they always happen.
Yeah.
1% of the time, something unexpected happens with financing.
That's true. That is true. I'm glad he's breaking this down for her, though. We need this type of masculine energy. It may not be comfortable, but we need it.
I don't plan on being the only one. I plan on hiring other people. And in Baltimore, if you work,
Hiring presumes that you have enough money to pay staff. When you start a business, when you're in debt, like you're already in debt,
my
you don't
plan,
have the. Excuse me. When you're starting a business 5 years out, 5 years into your career.
Yeah, she got to take them deep breaths.
You heard the.
She got to take them
She's
breaths.
so tight. She's so tight right now.
She got to do her breathing exercise.
Hey, he killing her dream right now, but somebody got to tell her the reality, or she would have like, this is the best thing for her to get an alternate perspective so she can really understand what she's doing. But the crazy part about it is she's getting like, this man is saving your life right now.
She's just got to breathe deep. This is something that's going to take a while to sink in. So it's not going to change overnight. It's going to take a couple conversations.
When you're starting a business 5 years out, 5 years into your career, ma'am, you're going to still have debt. And how would you physically work the hours?
I would work part-time in the hospital and part-time in my clinic.
Part-time in the hospital. So that means you would cut your income by half.
Yes.
Right. So that 300 will go to 150, which will go to roughly 75 to 80. And your bills would still be the same. Debts. You have not put pencil to paper. And this is one thing, let me talk to the audience. This is one thing that troubles me so much about you college educated sisters. You go out and you go out and have plans, but you never actually put numbers to it. They matter. Ma'am, I gave you the best case scenario, 5 years, 300,000. And then all of a sudden you're gonna go and start doing this clinic and you're gonna take a 50% cut in pay to go in debt to start a clinic to give away your services to the underprivileged. That's insane. That's a bad plan.
If you work in a city such as Baltimore,
that's a bad plan. Ma'am, I just need you to understand that's okay, ma'am, that's a bad plan. Okay. I know what you're it's a bad plan.
But in the eyes of debt, if you work in a city like Baltimore, low income in general,
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Your debts will be cleared.
Your debts be what?
Your debt will be cleared. Recently, they said
your student loan debt will be cleared?
As a doctor, yes. If you work 10 years in a city like Baltimore, low income.
But you haven't worked 10 years in Baltimore. You would only be working 5 before you went to start working part-time. You see what I mean?
You would still be working.
But you wouldn't be working full-time. 10 years presumes you're working 10 years full-time. Ma'am, it's a bad plan. Just go ahead and say, I don't know what I'm talking. This is what I think it. Okay, you need to sit down with somebody who's going to make you put the numbers down, and you need to write this out, because here's the net of it. You're going to be going to get into a lot of medical school and student loan debt. That makes you economically unattractive. And I'm going to tell you right now, with the way the climate is today, you think you're going to roll up on somebody and say, hi, I want to be your wife. Here's $200,000 in debt. Now I'm going to go out and be Mother Teresa here and give away all this expensive training I have to underprivileged people. No. A man would be insane to sign up for that. No, that means I got to go out and cover all that. No. If you want to be a humanitarian, you need to do it at the end of your career. Let me tell you something to you Black women. You always think short term. You need to think long term. You don't get to go to be Mother Teresa at 30. You got to go out and earn something. You got a lot of debt you're going to be putting on somebody. And if no one marries you, who's going to pay these bills? You. So, due respect, you won't be taking on, well, you'd be crazy to leave a $300,000 a year job to start working part-time, to go into debt to open a clinic to give your services away. That means you're taking half of your income away, and then you're throwing money down a bottomless hole of a business. Does that make sense financially?
No.
Thank you. You need to really reconsider why you're going to medical school. If you truly don't want to be a trauma surgeon, then don't go to medical school. If you want to be a humanitarian or not-for-profit, don't go to medical school. One of the worst things we did was just allow people to go to college and let people like young folks like yourself get themselves in ungodly amounts of debt with no plans to pay it back.
I truly want to be a trauma surgeon.
Okay.
I'll sit down and make a better plan. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Whew. Jesus Christ. She ain't listening? No.
That's the end of the video, brother. Final thoughts?
Final thoughts is I don't understand why people call this show.
Why do you say that?
I'm assuming that you're calling the show to get advice or perspective. And then you get the advice and perspective and you ignore every single thing that the man says. So what was the point of you calling? Like, why are y'all ladies calling the show and arguing with this man or not even being open to receive the angles that he's coming with? Why did you just waste everybody's time? Including yours. Like, I don't understand why people find his number, put their fingers to the pad, wait on hold, and call in. Like, I've yet to see. We've only watched about maybe 3-4 videos, but I haven't seen a video where any woman has taken anything he said to heart to make an adjustment.
Well, I'm pretty sure all these things that they believe has been premeditated for a while, so it takes a little bit of time to sink in. And I can understand that. I will allow them that especially her. She's 19, comes from a good family, seems to be educated, and she had her sets. She was thinking with her heart. She wasn't thinking with her mind, and she had her heart set on something. But that's not anything that in one phone call. If you call somebody on YouTube, I would think that they would just change your mind. She's gonna have to do some processing for that one. And I would think a lot of older women, especially too, have to do some processing because they've been set in their ways for so long.
So do you think that's a woman thing or a people thing?
It could be I would say it's a people thing. Men are more stubborn than women. Men are the most stubborn. You can't change a man's mind. We think with logic. So if we see fit black or white and it's black or white, we're going with that. You're not changing it.
I say that to say if I were to call somebody who I felt were the expert and I was looking for advice and they told me that it was a flaw in my plan, I would instantly reevaluate. Instantly.
I believe that is because you and I are about growth by any means necessary. So even if it's not, we don't take it we don't take it personal. We take it in a manner that if we can improve, even if it's something that wasn't a part of the program before, we have to adapt because our main focus is getting to that goal, not trying to justify whatever reality we want to live in. We do with what is real and what the tools we have. You know, if we want to build a house and we got the materials to do it, we go build a house. But some people want to build a car, but they only have house materials. We work with what we got. So I would just say it's a blessing for us to have the mindset that we do, because a lot of people will get set on something and that's that. But I will say women do have a lot more flexibility in changing their mind. Men can too, but we usually, you know, dudes can be dead ass wrong and know they're wrong, but that's the point they want to stand by. I would say at least women have the flexibility of emotional intelligence to kind of process that, and then it starts to penetrate some things. It might take a while because, like, she's 19. I'm pretty sure she was thinking about this dream since she was a freshman in high school or something, or somebody inspired her. She sounds like she has a good heart, but she wasn't really thinking about it logically. So her emotions are so tied into this. No, I do want to be a trauma surgeon.
Most college kids don't, and they need this conversation because I for sure didn't. I was like, oh, $60,000 in loans, and I'll make that my first year because I'll make $60,000 coming out of college. So hey, let's do it. So I was that dumb college kid too.
Yeah, but if somebody would have told you otherwise, I'm pretty sure you would reevaluate your plan. But in one talk, no, wouldn't have changed it right then.
Maybe if somebody would have broke it down like that to me when I was 18, 17, like, okay, so you plan on making 60,000 coming out. Okay. And you want to be an entrepreneur. So you're going to work part-time. You're going to make 15 an hour. All right. You're going to move out. How much are your bills? How much is going to be your car note? Okay. How much are you actually going to be paying back in loans? Well, have you calculated how much this is going to be in interest and blah, 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 blah. I would have reevaluated immediately because when I was in school, I was just a naive kid to be like, oh, okay. Well, I wanted to be a video game designer. So I'm like, oh, I can go in the industry and make $60,000. And my student loan debt is $60,000. So in a couple years, I'll be able to pay it off. And that was my dumb kid logic, even though I thought I was smart at the time. But in reality, I still have that debt to this day and only paid about 50% of it down. And this was 13 years later.
Well,
so if I had one good conversation, if I had one good breakdown, I literally would have changed my whole career path. Man, one good conversation.
That shows how wise you are. Not everybody has that wisdom, but I'm glad that we got people like Kevin Samuels to break that down to us. Right. Well, unless you had anything else you wanted to add, brother.
No, that's it. It's a cool video getting a young girl's perspective, and it's just interesting. It's interesting to see how women have to approach being in a relationship, having kids, and career, and how you mesh all three, and just to realize that like something has to take a hit. If you want to be a career woman and a family woman and a good wife, something got to take a hit. Something. Unfortunately, like now, is there some woman in the world that's a superwoman in all three arenas? Of course. But it's just like, does everybody really want to have that challenge of life? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's true. But you know, guys, this was the Don and J-Mo show, the official review of things women don't understand, huge problems, ! Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You know the vibes, we tell no lies. And if you dispute, leave it in the comments down below. Peace and love, and we're going to tap back in.